Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lachlan Lyle, and I am not just a filmmaker because I am also super hyped about Godzilla vs. Kong. Yeah, I'll be honest, this is the most organised I've ever done the podcast so far. I'm recording this on the Saturday before it comes out, rather than the morning of or the afternoon of when I'm actually releasing it. Or even on the first day when I recorded it on a Wednesday and just put it out on a Thursday, and I was like, well, that's good enough. That's obviously what the people want when they want it on Mondays. They want it coming out on Mondays. Sorry, not Mondays. They want it coming out on Wednesdays. That's what they want. Obviously, I don't know if the camera angle is the exact same. I'm assuming not. I'm going to go big assumption it's not. Yeah, so not much has happened in my world. I'm editing the web series, Awaken, the pilot of it. It's coming along. We just got the assembly done. Well, I just got the assembly done the other day. Now I'm just getting notes back from the producer and the director. Which is also a fun process when you're doing it over online and not in person, because they're always just in person. It's way easier to fix things, just because it's like, hey, can you not use that angle? Can you start from here? Whereas now it's just kind of like, oh, can you start from this time code? I'm like, I don't know what that means. You know, is that now? Is that in the scene? Probably not. Probably not. Yeah. So that's what I've mostly been doing. I read the trial of the Chicago 7, the screenplay. My girlfriend Jess got it for me. Speaking of, I do need to address this, and it's been on my mind for the past week and a half, and I'm sure it's been on everyone else's mind. All 5 listeners of the podcast, it's been on their mind as well. I've been called out, and I have to address it. Now, I know that 2021 is a tough time for people. It's a tough time for everyone. But this is a tough time, and it needs to be addressed. That after talking about self-help, my girlfriend watched the clip of me talking about starting my journey in self-help, and then proceeded to tell me that I was thinking about her when I was calling her out, and said that I was calling her out. And what she did was she loaded up the clip, took it to a specific time point in the video where I stopped to pause, and I looked around for a little bit, half a second, and she paused the video, lifted another frame and said, you were thinking about me in this exact moment. You were thinking about me. And I have to say, call me wet laundry because you have me pegged. I have to address this. I think about a lot of people. I'm taking this personal issue to the podcast. I love you very much, Jess. And this is just, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm doing this on the podcast. This would have been way better to do in person. Just small, quiet room, sit down, chat about it, get it over and done with. Nah, I'm doing this on fucking online. Oh, I'm gonna get in so much trouble for this. Oh. Yeah. I got called out for that, and you know what? It was 100%. It's 100% true. I was thinking about her in that moment, and I was thinking about a lot of other people, and I was thinking about myself. But I find it hilarious that she was able to pinpoint the exact moment when she's like, "Nah, you were thinking about me in this moment. You don't lie to me because I know you. I know how to read you. You were talking about me." Yeah, and I didn't think I was making it very specific. I thought I was making it pretty vague because I see this similar sort of traits in a few people. So I recognize that trait exists in people, and I don't know if she'll appreciate me trying to get my way out of this on a video on a podcast, but no, I'm very sorry, and I can't guarantee that it won't happen again intentionally. No, unintentionally. It won't happen intentionally. It will happen unintentionally if it happens again, which it won't. So that is, dude. If you don't have a girlfriend, or just beware of this, right? To anyone who's looking at getting a girlfriend, women can read your mind. They tell you they won't, but they definitely can. And you know what? Fair. Absolutely fair. It is sort of terrifying in a way. Terrifying in a way that you could be read, like I can be read like a book like that. Like, has anyone else ever just decided that has anyone else been like called out so truthfully for like something that they didn't realize what was going on? That happened to me once. I was on holidays and I was in like this games room of the hotel, and I was playing against someone who I had met at the hotel, and them and a few other friends, and they immediately said to me, they like looked at me. This was about after like a day or two of meeting them. They looked at me in the eyes, dead in the eyes, and said, "You like being the smartest person in the room?" And I said, "You know what? I have never been called out so truthfully, so quickly before in my life that I can only like acclaim that. I can only say that is a great job at figuring out who people are. It is a terrible, yeah. I've been called out twice so accurately before. I'm curious, has anyone else been like called out like that before? Like, it's stuff that you're not really trying to cause any beef or drama. You're just talking from your mind, because that's what a podcast is. It's just a stream of continuous thoughts. And I've never been, I've got pegged. Absolutely like picked for it. And you know what? I can only love her more for that, because that is a sign of true care and love, that she can read me like a bloody pamphlet for Woolworths, Woolies catalogue. Because as we all know, the mantra of this podcast is Coles sucks. And she may or may not work there, but she knows what my opinion is on Coles, because I work at the superior supermarket. And it's not Coles. So I got called out that, and you know what? Fair. I will not blame her for that. I think that's, like, it's half really funny and half like, I really need to stop. I really shouldn't be talking. I don't know if I should be talking about this too much. It's good content. It's good content. I can only say that. I'm like, yeah, but it's good content. You can't disagree with it being good. It's funny as. It's like in a self-destructive sort of funny way. Yes, I think it works. Okay, what else is that? Yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest. I've been called out like that, and it's important for me to address important issues such. And I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's time to move forward, onward and upward. It's a great thing. What was the next thing I was going to talk about? Right. That was the first important notification for you all. The second one is a declaration of war. I can't say it. I'm declaring war on my neighbours. So, for context around this, my sister just turned 18. She just got her P's. Good on her. She listens to the podcast sometimes, from what I understand. And you know what? I'm proud of her. I'm proud of you, Sarah. You got a bloody car. And what's devastating about this, though, is that she's been parking in my car park, which, as we all know, as the oldest sibling, is our birthright. We're entitled to a lot of things. Older siblings all agree. It's our birthright. First come, first serve. And it stays like that forever. That's what the monarchy has. That's what the monarchy's got right. Older siblings win. Always. Now, as a result of this, Sarah getting a car, I've had to park on the street like some sort of pleb, because I don't have a private car park anymore. I have to park on the street. And you know what? I'm annoyed with it, because the neighbours across the street park their car in front of my house. And That is simply unacceptable. Again, another part of my birthright. As the older sibling, I am entitled to this. I don't understand why it's such a big deal for them not to hand over the car park to me. And so here I am, parking my car 20 metres down the street because I cannot park in front of my house. It is such a minor inconvenience that it just really frustrates me. So I'm declaring war on them. And I don't know if the neighbours will ever hear or see this, but I'm going to look out the window right at their house and say, I declare war on you. And we'll leave it at that. Actually, no, we're going to have a meeting strategy, a campaign strategy. How we're going to address this without directly addressing it. Obviously, the mature thing would be to go over and say, hey, can you please not park in front of my house? But that seems too simple, right? I think what I ought to do is that I should start parking my car, inching it closer and closer to them until it becomes uncomfortable for them and they have to move their car. Move it off the property. Pop, pop. And the problem with this, though, is that my car doesn't have back sensors at the rear. So it means that I may at a point just drive into the back of their car or the front of their car. And that's a danger because that's very expensive. It's hilarious, but very expensive. I don't understand. That's where I'm at the moment. Another part of what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some chalk and mark out car park spots on the street and write mine and yours. And I'm going to put theirs right in front of their house. Across the street. They're not even on the next door neighbours. They're across the street. They're choosing not to do U-turns. I don't know why they park like that. It's not their place to park. And so I'm going to go mine and yours. And they can have theirs on the other side of the street, and I'll have my spot on my side of the street. And that way I can kick Sarah out of the car park, and she can go hang out on the curb with her car like some sort of civil servant. Whereas I deserve, as my birthright as the oldest child, as the primary car park. The car park at the front. It's parked at the moment, as former President Trump says, it looks beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's glistening in the sun. It's loving it up. It's absolutely living that car park spot. What it hates is when it's out on the street. Why? I don't know. I have such high class royalty now. Why would I want to park on the street? Street parking sucks. Someone can hit it. People can walk past your car and vomit on it or touch it, or they can break into it. Much easier. They just have to walk into the property to break into my car now, but they have to back out elaborately. Whereas when it's on the street, they just do it. They just have to do it. They can just drive away, 30, 60 second guarantee. Gone in 60 seconds they'll be. I'm going to declare war on the neighbours until this car park has been resolved. Because this is a strike against humanity if they think they can get away with shit like this. Because they've got another thing coming. I am super petty. I brought things onto the podcast. I'm making people listen to this for 6 to 7 minutes. I am being super petty about this. Undeniably. But you know what? It's my birthright. As the oldest child, it is the birthright of the oldest child to have things like these. That's just a fact. And now I'm just going to talk about something that we have on the podcast, which is a sponsorship. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen, this episode of the podcast is sponsored by spoons. Who needs forks, right? So, that's just the weekly sponsorship. Spoons. This podcast episode is sponsored by spoons because, spoons are better than forks. And sporks are for dorks. I appreciate and I would never promote a product that I don't believe in personally, and I believe in spoons. And I've tried them all my life. They don't poke you in the eye or anything. They can't be stabby weapons. They're spoons. They're perfect. Whether it's eating Weet-Bix, whether it's eating soup, whether it's catching the pasta underneath when you use the fork. If you want to be like a loser like that when you're having pasta. If you're It's helpful for ice cream and yogurt and for apple pies. Spoons are great. They're, you can use them to get things out of jars. Who would want to use a fork when you're getting stuff out of a jar? No, thank you. And sporks are even more worse because there's just no way you can possibly justify having a spork and you not being, damn, it's not a spoon. Because spoons are, and this is true, the best utensil. So buy spoons next time you're in a supermarket. They're in a supermarket or a Kmart near you. Now, on to one of the bigger things that... Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at them like, oh, yeah, I have to do these other things as well. Right. I have a bit of a binge-watching problem at the moment. It's not so bad. It got used to be really bad. What I have on the back of my door is I have like a TV show tracker. Basically, I fill an A4 page, which is about 13 seasons of television, and I just track how many episodes I am into a season, just so I can see my progress. Like, am I past halfway? Am I further in this show than this show? Just like stuff like that. It got to a point where I was watching like 11 seasons of television a month, which, if you tell anyone that, is insane. Why should anyone be watching 11 seasons of television a month? You are not the Netflix. Why? So, that was my... Yeah, I'm trying to manage it because it's a bit of an addiction at the moment where I'll just... Television shows for me, in my head, are like, okay, by design, I will just watch this television show in the background whilst I'm completing other things. Next thing I know, I'm watching 5-6 episodes a day, and then the season's over in 2 or 3 days. I got an entire season of The West Wing done in 6 days. 6 days. This is, and I hate this word, problematic. It's a show that's 44 minutes long. There's 22 episodes a season, and I got it done in 6 days. That's like 3 to 4 episodes a day. It's crazy. That's like that's a movie. That's two short movies or a regular movie and half a movie, or it's 2.5 hours a day, at least. More than 2 hours. Oh gosh, what is it? Close to 3 hours. Yeah. It's close to 3 hours of television a day. It is a ridiculous amount of television, and I tell people not to do it because it will start to get on you when you're just kind of like not doing much else except for, I've got to find out what happens to President Bartlett, or I've got to find out what happens to Jess from New Girl. I got through that whole season in 2 days. 2 days. That's like 3.5 hours a day for New Girl season 4. There is so much that is going on that sometimes it's tough to keep up, but it is so much television. So I'm trying to manage it. And I haven't exactly figured out a way how to manage it other than, I'll just watch movies instead of television, because movies feel like more of an effort to watch than television, if that argument makes clear. Like with television, if I put it on and watch it for 10 minutes, that's okay, because the episode's like less than an hour long. Even if I'm only free for an hour, I can watch an episode of television. With a movie, it's like, right, I've got to put aside somewhere between 80 to 150 minutes out of my day in a row. I have to pay attention to it the entire time, because some things, they just will not come back, and you will miss things if you put it on in the background. And I don't know what else to say about it. Watching movies feels like more of an effort than watching TV shows, because TV shows are just so easy to just turn on, turn off. Whereas a movie is like, right, I'm here, and I'm going to watch it, all of it, or until at least I get bored, and then I go back to the Netflix home screen. So that's my way of managing at the moment, is just to watch more movies than TV shows, and I'll just stop watching less TV shows. But I don't know how to manage it in like a sort of like on Tuesdays I watch Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, but on Wednesdays I watch New Girl, and you just sort of run that course, 1 episode a week for X amount of time. And it's tough to figure out how to manage that, just because it's I don't know. I don't have a great sense of keeping to schedule. I'll be honest, to get this podcast, I'm like, it's 4:45 on a Saturday afternoon. I was really tempted to not record this podcast today. I was like, oh, I'll just push it to tomorrow morning. I'll do it tomorrow morning. I'll do it on a Sunday morning. And then I'm like looking at my Sunday morning. I'm like, I might do it Sunday night. And then I'm like looking at my Sunday. I'm like, but I want to rest then. So I'll move it to Monday. And it's just a case of like slowly pushing things back in order to just make room for watching TV. So I think that's going back to my self-help journey. That's a part that I want to hopefully build on. I won't say watching less TV is a goal. I'd say watching TV in a more organized manner or doing productive things and rewarding myself with TV is probably the way that I want to be able to view things in the way that I change the way I want to watch TV. You know, it's like, okay, I'll put in the work and then I get to, you know, by the time it's 5 o'clock, you know, now you can slow down, calm down, rest a bit. It's going to be, that's my tactic, at least for February. For February, I kind of am wanting to get through the entirety of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime, just because they're the last two shows that I'm super keen to watch on Amazon Prime, and then I can just then I want to get binge afterwards, which is like, oh yeah, I need to get through the streaming service so I can spend more money on other streaming services so I can watch all their shows as well. And it's not, I don't have anything wrong with that. I think it's definitely a sign of me being an addict. I think the most indictable sign is that I have also a list of 120 odd movies that I watched whilst they were on in the background, and I missed them and I didn't pay attention. So I have no idea what they're about, and some I vaguely remember, and some I just didn't really pay attention because I'm like, I would just leave the movie running just to make sure that the disc worked, and I would go and do something else in another room, and then I come back and be like, oh, then we're up to this scene. I think I did it with like Hereditary. I really enjoyed Hereditary, and then I saw it in the cinemas. I'd go to the bathroom, I'd come back. Oh, I just left the movie play, and you know, now it's 10 minutes later. I'm gonna go outside. I'll go outside the room. I'll vac in like the family room. I'll come back. Oh, we're up to this scene. Oh, she's lost her head. It's about that. But I think if I don't know if for me, I'm sort of getting through the idea of getting to binge finally, but also I kind of like the idea of like kicking the can down the road, just because there's not that. Although March would be an interesting time to get it, just because Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out. So sorry about that. My card, the card was full, so I had to swap cards. Hopefully that works out. Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming out. That looks interesting. I'm waiting. I hear a trailer's coming out February 14, which would be 15 for Australia. If that's going to come out, and it will be another trailer. I'm not a huge. Okay, here's a small argument on Zack Snyder's Justice League. It is not Zack Snyder's original vision, and here is my reason why. And it's purely an aesthetic reason. I have no inside information. I have not dissected the trailer thoroughly enough. I'm looking at on a purely surface level idea. It's the aspect ratio. And also the fact that it's going to be 4 hours long. And it's a 4 episode miniseries. And I'll give you the reason why, right? Because it was originally going to be a movie. That's the first. That should be the first giveaway. The second reason is that, the second reason that I don't think it was Zack Snyder's original vision, is because it's a different aspect ratio. And those are my only two legitimate thoughts on why it's not Zack Snyder's original vision. No matter how much you'll say it is. Sure it was. Sure, everyone likes to make a 4 hour cut of their movie and then cut it down to 2 hours. I know he wasn't involved in the post-production process. I heard he wasn't involved in the movie for most of 27, I think it was February or March 2017, he left the movie. And they brought in Joss Whedon because of personal reasons for him, which I won't go into because they're quite sad. But that's my only two thoughts. I'm like, the aspect ratio is so drastically different. The time length is so drastically different. I understand that he's going on HBO Max and binge. He's got such a larger free reign, but I think that just by those two facts, it's just instantly different. It's naturally different. So yeah, those are my only two thoughts on Justice League. But one trailer that did come out in the last 2 weeks that I did think was quite interesting was the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. It looks so awesome. Kong fighting Godzilla is... I'm Team Kong, by the way. I know Godzilla, some people are like Team Godzilla. Nah, Team Kong all the way. Because he is way bigger than he was in Kong Skull Island. He is just hammer throwing Godzilla. Push right in the face. It's such an exciting, bombastic, just action trailer that makes me go, I will be there. Opening day. In the biggest screen I can possibly get into that is local enough to me. And I will be watching the shit out of it. Because that looks so fun, so entertaining, that I don't really care if it's dumb or people hate it. I just look at it and go like, oh well, I guess that I'm just going to have a good time without you then. That's where I'm at. Because Kong Skull Island looks like it's going to be an absolute blast. Rebecca Hall, she looks fine. Like, no one looks like they're going to be pulling golden, Oscar-nominated performances. Rebecca Hall's going to be fine. Alexander Skarsgård going to be fine. Julian Dennison, he is now a famous New Zealander, so naturally, he's an Australian now. Same with Taika Waititi. We've claimed them. They're ours. New Zealand, you can fuck off, all right? Jacinda Ardern may be ours as well. We're just letting you borrow her. So, you New Zealanders, fuck off. We've got them now. And, Taika's making movies in Sydney. I don't know why I picked Sydney. Sydney's... Ugh. But, it's... It is... I'm blanking for words. They're us. But it looks exciting and interesting. The cast is extensive and fun and awesome. Adam Wingard, he directed The Guest. Awesome movie. He directed Death Note. I watched it a few years ago. I honestly don't really remember it that much. I was sort of surprised to hear that Lakeith Stanfield was in the movie. I'm like, I don't remember that part. But apparently he was a big part of it. I just remember the 80s soundtrack. And Willem Dafoe as the monster guy, which was fine. That is... Those are the two... Yeah, I'm... He has the axe... and it's glowing, and then he jumps up, and the scale and the scope, I'm super interested to see how they'll handle the cinematography. Just that shot of Godzilla clawing his way onto the aircraft carrier, climbing up, standing up on it. The camera is from first person POV, it's getting wet on the lens, it looks so action driven, and it barely told you anything other than, hey, Godzilla and Kong are going to fight. Godzilla maybe is being positioned as the bad guy. Kong's going to be the savior of humanity. But we all know that they're going to team up in the end and they're going to fight Mecha Godzilla or Mecha King Ghidorah or something like that. Because Charles Dance got his robotic head in the end of Godzilla too. But yeah, I am very interested in seeing that. It looks so fun. So fun. Absolutely fun. Okay, what else is there for me to talk about? Do I get to talk about it yet? Yes, I do. All right, this will be the last thing I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the Golden Globe nominations. I had a brief look at them earlier in the week. I saw that they set a record for Best Director, most female Best Directors, which also, which is 3 out of 5, which is the most because before they had only 5 out of all the Golden Globes. Which is a sad reflection on the filmmaking industry and ought to be adjusted in the future, even further, to become more and more diverse. I'm going to talk about the Golden Globe nominations. If you have no interest, that's okay, but I'm going to talk about them. I'm not going to plug anything until end, so just subscribe to the podcast, leave a rating on iTunes. Maybe I'll be coming to Spotify in the next week or two, and come back and watch the next episode. But as for the Golden Globe nominations, I'm just going to run through them and give my thoughts. Okay. So, Best Picture Drama. The Father, Mank, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. Interesting choices. I haven't seen The Father. The Father's not in Australia until like April 1st. But I saw Mank was solid, Nomadland was really great, Promising Young Woman was awesome, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. That was an interesting experience for me, mostly because it was during lockdown, so me and Jess, we had a phone call going at the same time with our headphones in, and we were also watching the movie on like separate Netflix accounts, trying to do like a watch along together. The problem with that was that I was half a second behind her, so I could hear the next line coming, and also it was just weird to have one headphone in with the computer and the other one in with the phone call. Which I'll probably honestly rewatch that movie in the next month, I reckon. Just to get myself pre-prepared for that again. But I reckon the winner of that should be Promising Young Woman and end up being Nomadland. I haven't seen The Father, I can't talk on it that much. Best Musical Comedy is Borat's subsequent movie film, Hamilton, Music, Palm Springs, and The Prom. Straight up, Palm Springs should win this. I haven't seen Music, sorry. It's in cinemas at the moment, but I don't think I will see it. I think I'm going to go wait for it to come on, like rental. But this is definitely a pretty good, glowing review of recommendation of Music that it was nominated for Golden Globe. Even if it is just the musical category, which 3 of them are and 2 of them are comedies. But yeah, Palm Springs should hopefully, fingers crossed, take this one because I really want them to win it. And but Borat's subsequent movie film it's like one of those movies that no one saw it coming, and then it came out and like there was talk of it getting awards nominations, and I never really took that talk seriously. But seeing this, I think I will take this seriously. Sorry, my camera is flashing red. I will start to speed this process up. Alright, Best Actress. Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day for United States vs. Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand for Nomadland, Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman. I've seen 3 out of the 5, Viola, Frances, and Carey. I would give it to Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman. I reckon she will take that one. I think it's just a better performance of the 3. Best Actor for the drama category, Riz Ahmed, Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins, The Father, Gary Oldman, Mank, and Tahar Rahim, The Mauritanian, which I've only seen 3 of the 5, and I want to give it to Chadwick, but I reckon Riz Ahmed might get it. I wouldn't be mad if Riz Ahmed got it. I think his performance in Sound of Metal was awesome. I think it was I think it's like one of those things that sits with you, and the longer you sit with it, the more you think about it, the better it gets. I just think it was a really strong performance. I thought he was just a captivating actor. Oh, there's the next page. All right, Best Actress, Musical Comedy. Maria Bakalova, Borat's subsequent movie film, Kate Hudson for Music, Michelle Pfeiffer for French Exit, Rosamund Pike for I Care a Lot, and Anya Taylor-Joy for Emma. I've only seen 2 of those, so I'll give it to Maria Bakalova. I think Borat's subsequent movie film, I think she did a great job in that, and especially staying in character for hours and all the behind the scenes stuff she did. I think she earned it. Best actor in a musical comedy, Sacha Baron Cohen for Borat's subsequent movie film, James Corden for The Prom, Lin-Manuel Miranda for The Hamilton, Dev Patel for The Personal History of David Copperfield, and Andy Samberg for Palm Springs. Look, it'll probably go to Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'd like to see it go to Andy Samberg, though. I think his performance was great. I'm just going to fly through these. Best Supporting Actress, Motion Picture. Glenn Close, Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman, The Father, Jodie Foster, The Mauritanian, and Amanda Seyfried for Mank, and Helena Zengel for News of the World. Glenn Close. Just give Glenn Close her Oscar already. I think her performance in Hillbilly Elegy was awesome, and when I saw the trailer, I saw her face quivering. I'm like, Well, there's the Oscar. There's the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. Glenn Close. I can only imagine that she's going to get a nomination and hopefully get the win. I thought her performance was outstanding. I think she is the highlight of the film, and in some ways, maybe the only reason to actually watch Hillbilly Elegy. Best Supporting Actor for Motion Picture, Sacha Baron Cohen again for The Trial of Chicago 7, Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah, Jared Leto for The Little Things, Bill Murray for On the Rocks, and Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami. I think this will go to Leslie Odom Jr. Yeah, I've seen three of them. On the Rocks and Trial of Chicago 7 and One Night in Miami. Yeah, Leslie Odom Jr. I'll pick him for that one. I think, solid nominations, I guess. I don't know. How am I supposed to be, talking about? I'm just going to give my predictions. Best Director. Okay, now this is an interesting category, mostly because of the company that is in it. And 3 female directors, great representation. With well over deserved and well earned as well, might I add. They're definitely not there as what's the tokens, as diversity tokens. They are there because they earned their place. And might I add, I think they're the 3 front runners as well. I've seen all the movies that were nominated for Best Director. Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, David Fincher for Mank, Regina King for One Night in Miami, Aaron Sorkin for Trial of Chicago 7, and Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. Yeah. I would put... Yeah, I reckon Chloe Zhao will win that. Followed by... if not her, I'd want Emerald Fennell to win. And then Regina King, and then Fincher and Sorkin. But, yeah, very good. Best Screenplay, Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, Jack Fincher for Mank, Aaron Sorkin for Trial of Chicago 7, Christopher Hampton and Florian Zeller for The Father, and Chloe Zhao from Nomadland. I reckon Promising Young Woman or The Trial of Chicago 7 will win that. Best Picture Animated, The Croods, The New Age, Onward, Over the Moon, Soul, and The Wolfwalkers. Soul has to win that. If Soul doesn't win, I'm going to riot about that. Best Foreign Language. Yeah, I haven't seen any of them, so we're going to skip that. Best Score, Song, Drama Series. Okay. You know what? I might just leave it there, because now they're starting to go into television and stuff, and I haven't seen much of the television, but saw Ted Lasso was nominated, and it should win. If it doesn't win, I will riot. It must win. Anyway. The Golden Globe nominations, they're solid. They're solid. They're what you expect. They're what everyone was talking about, and I reckon they will be a pretty good indication of what gets nominated for the Oscars, considering the year that's happened. I don't really is WandaVision eligible for Golden Globe, since it when did eligibility stop? I think it's... Oh gosh, I have no idea when eligibility stuff. I'm seeing movies that came out late December. I'm maybe it was early January that it was eligible to. Anyway, I'm just going to leave the podcast there. I hope you guys really enjoyed this podcast. I think it's a bit of a short one, but the battery's running out, and I've got to go get Jess for tonight, because we're meeting up tonight. So I will leave it at that. Leave a rating on iTunes, subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification bell. Spotify, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying doing the podcast, so I will be putting this up on Spotify eventually. So 1 to 2 weeks for Spotify. Maybe even on episode 5, that will be the first one that goes out on Spotify. What else is there? I don't have anything else to plug at the moment. Oh, my website, www.lachlan.port. Go check it out. If you have any inquiries about me, just shoot me an email on the contact section, and I'll get back to you promptly. I don't think I have anything else I want to plug. No, I think... yeah, I think I've decided I'm going to do an Oscar prediction episode. So it will be like entirely about Oscar predictions. I may have some of my uni film study mates on that. And that'll be an interesting one. That'll probably be in about a month or so, I reckon. All right. But for now, I will see you guys in a fortnight. Hopefully, war has been won against the Neighbours, and hopefully, Jess does not hit me or break up with me for things that I've said. Yes. Oh, I will see you guys in a fortnight. I hope you enjoyed that video I posted, which was this afternoon, but would have been on the weekend, of me keying in a test. I enjoyed doing random stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.